This is my audience. Everyone loves puppies. Many people feel as if one specific breed fits their family needs or that a dog has to look perfect in order to be a good pet. Many people choose to spend absorbent amounts of money to purchase dogs from breeders when they could save a dog's life by rescuing one. In my speech, I'm going to show you why rescuing a dog is so much better than buying one. I have 2 dogs, both of which are rescues, so I know firsthand the benefit of adopting a dog. In my speech, I'm going to discuss how adopting helps to give puppy mills less business, adopting helps save the life of a dog, and why adopting is much cheaper and more convenient than buying a dog. The problem is too many people buy dogs from puppy mills. They don't understand the repercussions of this and the cruel way that these corporations treat animals. Adopting helps shut these breeders down. Puppy mills supply dogs to pet stores without the concern of how many dogs are already without homes. The conditions that these dogs are bred in are also horrible. They keep these dogs in small, cramped spaces. Female dogs are bred over and over until they can no longer produce puppies. The PETA Corporation discusses how undercover investigations of puppy mills have revealed that dogs often have no bedding or protection from the colds or the heat, and no regular veterinary care, even when they were ill. Health conditions such as crusty, oozing eyes, raging ear infections, mange that turn their skin into a mass of red scabs, and abscessed feet from the floors were ignored or inadequately treated. Investigators have observed dogs circling frantically in their small cages and pacing ceaselessly back and forth. The puppies are separated from their mothers at a very young age, which denies them of any basic social skills. If the problem is ignored and people keep buying dogs, these puppy mills will continue to thrive. While these puppy mills are awful, there is a way to make them less successful. The solution I recommend is adopting more dogs. The more dogs that are adopted, the more lives are saved, and the less money is given to those evil corporations. According to the ASPCA, of the approximately 7.6 million companion animals entering animal shelters nationwide, every year approximately 2.7 million of them are euthanized. By adopting a dog, you can save one of these lives. Adopting also helps to free up space in these shelters so that they're not forced to euthanize these dogs because of overcrowding. The ASPCA also points out that when you proudly tell others you chose to rescue an animal, you're sending a message that individuals can take into effective action to save lives, fight cruelty, and end suffering. In nearly 100 US cities, that message has influenced communities to pass laws and bills that regulate where pet stores can get the puppies that they sell. In many cases, these laws prohibit pet stores from selling non-shelter dogs entirely. Some people might be hesitant to rescue a dog for a number of reasons. You might think that rescue dogs will have more emotional issues, or that they will be more difficult to train, or that you won't be able to find a dog you want at a shelter. None of these things are true. Many shelters work with you to make sure that they find a dog that will fit well in your home. They take into account the dog's past, your home environment, and any special needs that you might have. Pet stores are only interested in making money. They do not take into account your personal needs. The only difference between a rescue animal and a store-bought animal is that the rescue animal did not have a previous safe environment to live in. As the Humane Society points out, most shelter pets would wound up there because of a human problem like a move or a divorce, not because the animals did anything wrong. It's possible to get a purebred dog from a shelter. Around 25% of animals under the safekeeping of animal shelters are purebred. Rescue dogs are often nicer and more well-trained. They appreciate the new home and love that you're giving them because they didn't previously have that. Rescue dogs also have less birth defects and diseases carried from puppy mills. Now, you might be thinking, well, where do I start if I want to adopt a dog? Adopting is an easy and fulfilling process. Most cities have multiple shelters that you can go to at any time to rescue a dog. You can go and play with some of the dogs and pick which one you want with the help of the shelter. You then fill out the appropriate paperwork and pay a small fee, and then you're done. The shelters usually provide appropriate vaccinations and treatments that the dogs need to ensure that they are safe and ready to go home with you. If people continue to support puppy mills, in 10 or 20 years, shelters will be beyond overpopulated, and that 2.7 million number of dogs that are put down each year will increase by a lot. If you adopt and don't shop, we can save the lives of so many dogs, eventually clearing out shelters and solving the problem of overcrowding. I can speak from personal experience that rescuing a dog is one of the best things you can do. Both of my dogs are rescues. My first dog, Domino, was rescued from a shelter. He was taken in directly off the street. He was sick, and the vet told us that he wasn't going to live past a year. That was 8 years ago. Because of the love and the home that my family gave him, he miraculously solved all of his health issues. We then rescued another dog, not from a shelter, but from a puppy mill. He was advertised in a pet store as a Yorkie, but he clearly was much bigger than a purebred Yorkie, and no one wanted to buy him, so they were going to sell him and give him to a shelter that was overpopulated, and he was probably going to be put down. So we made a deal with the pet store to take him home with us so that wouldn't happen. This is very common in a lot of cases, and just another example of why rescuing dogs is so important. So in conclusion, adopting is the way to go. You should never purchase a dog from a mill. That just supports the business and makes them grow even more. You can visit a local shelter to volunteer or look for a dog for yourself. Places like the Humane Society always need volunteers. It's really easy to apply, and who doesn't love playing with puppies? Adopting is cheaper, smarter, and better for everyone. That way you can save a life and work to end dog breeding forever. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Do you know of any adoption places in West Palm Beach?
The Humane Society, I'm pretty sure, has, I don't know how many locations, but they have one in most every city around America, so I'm sure there's one pretty close to your house that you could find.
What's the best place to adopt a dog from?
Really any local shelter that you can find. You can just do a Google search, find which one is closest to your house. There's often reviews of them, what kind of dogs they have, things like that. And just really any store, any place that isn't selling the dogs.
And then, can you look for a dog online?
Yeah, I think a lot of places like the Humane Society are starting to put pictures of the dogs online. If you don't have time to actually go there, you can always find their phone number online and call them, things like that. Thank you.